Good evening, race fans. Welcome here to the Iowa Speedway for tonight's presentation of Reigel Promotions Esports Pavement Series and the Summer Shootout. My name is Robert Hill Jr. Glad to have you alongside me here tonight from Iowa for tonight's 175 lap event. Drivers have just wrapped up Showman Shots virtual photography qualifying, and we'll take a look at that starting grid. It's Octavio Rondoletto on the pole alongside Zachary Mertes. Row number 2, Kyle Hardy and Xander Levi. Row 3, Robert Puckett and Aaron Murphy going to make up that row. Row 4, William Owens and Peyton Craig, with the rest of your top 10 being Kevin Goodall and Christopher Hibbs. Row 6, Aiden Tram and Sean Smith going to make up that row, with row number 7 belonging to Joseph Groom and Benjamin Wirt. Tito Bonilla and Rick Good going to make up row number 8. Row 9, Eli Harris and Michael Farmer, with Andrew Reigel rounding out the field. Prior to qualifying, drivers did, of course, take part in the admin box drivers meeting. Thanks to Admin Box for being on board here all season long as the presenting partner of our drivers meeting. Drivers, of course, also took part in a quick warm-up session prior to the qualifying session that brought to you by Night Owl Racing League as we get set for tonight's round of the Pavement Series. This, of course, being the fourth of the 2025 season, with previous events coming at the Daytona International Speedway. That was won by David Flanagan. Josh Cottle picked up the win at Rockingham, and Octavio Rondoletto picking up the win back in May at the Kansas Speedway, as tonight we get underway here at Iowa. So the field rolling off of pit road now. We're going to get underway here in just a couple of moments, and of course, as always, here in the Reigel Promotions Esports Series, we will have the 4 wide salute, and right there you did see the drivers leaving the Dirt Series Promotions pit road here tonight. That is going to be a busy place all night long as drivers try to work on the cars as much as they possibly can, which really is just tires and fuel. Of course, this being a fixed setup series here tonight, so that's something a little bit different. No fast repairs, up to 3 attempts at a green, white, checkered, and 4 total sets of tires, 3 of those in the pit area and 1 on the car, as the drivers getting set for our 4 wide salute here tonight, brought to you by Victory Fuel. Victory Fuel, flavored electrolyte water, powering the Reigel Promotions Esports Pavement Series. As drivers funneling in, front row's going to split off, middle row's going to come ahead and fill those in as everybody finds their position in the 4 wide salute to the fans. Of course, this is more of a common practice on dirt. You see this a lot in the sprint cars, sometimes in the dirt late models as well. A nice salute to the fans is something that we always enjoy doing, and I know for myself as a dirt announcer, it is one of the coolest moments when you're up in that tower looking out, seeing the field come on by 4 abreast all the way around the racetrack. Nothing beats that whatsoever as the field comes around 4 wide. Salute to the fans here of the Reigel Promotions Esports Pavement Series here tonight, live from Iowa. So the field's going to go ahead and get the command from race control here tonight to get back into their starting positions and get set for tonight's race. Track temperature, for those curious at home, 83 degrees Fahrenheit, so not too hot here whatsoever. The ambient temperature outside is also 83, so pretty stagnant across the boards, as we're going to get set here momentarily for tonight's green flag, brought to you by Third Party Gaming. Third Party Gaming, a proud partner of Reigel Promotions Esports and the presenting sponsor of our green flag, as well, we'll get a couple more pace laps in here. Looks like we'll probably go green next time by. A couple other partners to keep note of here this evening as well. A whole whack of sponsors on board helping us out with this one. Of course, Admin Box presenting the drivers meeting, built by iRacers for iRacers. Use code RPE-sports-BOXX for 10% off, courtesy of Admin Box. And of course, we had our 4-wide salute here tonight as well. If you head on over to Victory Fuel, hydration for racers, low sugar, caffeine free. Use the code RPE-sports-victory for 10% off of your order there. Other partners, Showman Shots Photography for our qualifying efforts here tonight. Last chance qualifier that we didn't need this evening, brought to you by 618 Engraving and Design, and of course our warm-up brought to you by Night Owl Racing League. As the pace car's off this time, we're going to get set to come to the third-party gaming green flag. Octavio Rondoletto, Zachary Mertez going to lead us to the green flag as we're underway here from Iowa. Rondoletto going to lead down on the inside, side by side with Mertez as they work their way off of turn number 2 and down the back straightaway. The whole field mostly 2x2 all the way through. A couple drivers towards the rear of the field stepping out back to single file, trying to get those early laps in as Andrew Reigel going to go ahead and join the field. He waited pit side, just make sure everything was up to par here tonight and ready to go with the big show. As Rondoletto and Mertez continue their battle down the back straightaway. Nearly contact that time as Mertez dove down to the inside of Rondoletto. Rondoletto now working that high lane as they work their way through turns number 3 and 4, off of 4 that time. Rondoletto still your race leader by about a tenth of a second that time over Zachary Mertez. 175 laps here tonight. Drivers were doing laps at about 22 seconds or so in the warm-up session earlier on tonight. If we're able to run consistently, we should be able to do that in just under an hour and 10 minutes. Mix in cautions, mix in pit stops. You'll bring that up probably about an hour and 15. But these drivers in for what is more of a marathon than a sprint, especially here at the Iowa Speedway. You get up to the higher side of the racetrack, it's a little bit bumpier. Sometimes you got to work just a little bit harder. As we watch this battle back here around position number 4, that's Xander Levi down on the inside, up on the high side that time. Actually, no, that's Aiden Schramm on the high side. Inside was Aaron Murphy, as Murphy now going to slide up. Peyton Craig going to look down to the inside as they work their way down the back straightaway, side by side contact with the wall that time by Aiden Schramm. He's up 6 spots already here today, as Schramm on his way forward, doing a nice job here off the drop of the green flag, but that car absolutely loose on him, battling the conditions of that race car early on. Aiden Schramm holding on to position number 5, but he's had a couple brushes with the outside wall, so we'll keep our eyes peeled on that one. Is back up front, Rondoletto still leads the way over Zachary Mertez, as Mertez holding on to position number 2 as they head their way down the front straightaway, back through turns number 1 and 2 once again. We'll take a look back here from the Mertez machine. Let's see if we can get a look back just a little bit. There you go. You can see back to Zachary Mertez right behind your leader, Octavio Rondoletto, as Rondoletto heads his way down the front straightaway. We'll hop on board the roll bar camera here with Rondoletto. As issues towards the rear of the field, we're going to get our first 618 Engraving and Design yellow flag out here tonight, and it looks to be Christopher Hibbs going to have issues. We'll take a look and see what just happened to him. See if we can get a good look here. Looks like Hibbs might have been having some connection issues, so we'll see if potentially that comes into play here. Watching that black and green 25 on the right side of your lower screen here as he works his way through turns number 3 and 4. Car just going to step out on him. That's going to happen quite a bit here, especially in the early going of this one. For Hibbs, unfortunately, going to lead him most likely back to pit lane. We'll keep our eyes on that one here tonight and see who potentially may be headed towards our Dirt Series Promotions pit lane in the next couple of moments. 9 laps in, 166 laps to go, as we'll take a look at the pit entrance, see if anybody opting to come down this time. I was thinking Hibbs may opt to work his way down, but the first one going to work his way down Dirt Series Promotions pit road is indeed Benjamin Wirt. So Wirt going to be the first driver to work his way down in the Reigel Promotions Esports number 14 machine. We'll see what his team opts to go for as they work their way down to the pit box. Most likely a splash and go for the 14 machine. Definitely don't want to venture into the... Yeah, exactly what he's going to do there. A little bit of fuel, works his way back on, and he is good to go. You don't want to use up your tires early on. I know they still have 3 sets of tires. Short track, 175 laps, not a ton, but you're going to use them up pretty early on. So you definitely don't want to use them up too early here. You want to have a couple extra sets towards the end of the race, especially with the field the way it is here tonight. We only have 18 cars currently on the racetrack, with Andrew Reigel taking it pit side early on. But if these guys have an opportunity, maybe you're about 12th, 13th towards the end of the race, you get a late race restart, go down, take four tires. Don't necessarily need to put fuel in. You may want to do so for balance, but work your way back out there, and I guarantee he's going to pass 4, 5, maybe even 6 cars in those closing laps, depending on how long that final run is. So having a set in your back pocket for the remainder of the race, definitely going to be the move here tonight, but we'll see what these drivers opt to do, as we're already 11 laps into this one. We'll probably go green again around lap number 13. Biggest movers so far, Aiden Schramm up 6 spots, Tito Bonilla up 3, Eli Harris and Michael Farmer also up 3 apiece. Driver to move in the opposite direction, Christopher Hibbs. Of course, that was the cause of our first 618 engraving and design caution flag here tonight. He's lost 7 spots. Benjamin Wirt, who went down pit road, also down 4 in these opening laps. Robert Puckett currently sitting in 10th. He's lost 5 from the opening lap. As we get the 1 to green, we'll go green again next time by. A couple other sponsors to keep note of here tonight. Hard Charger Award going to be courtesy of Twisted Speed. A free setup pack will be awarded here tonight. Hard Luck Award courtesy of Premier Racing Setups. Use code Reigel Promotions 15 for 15% off your order from Premier Racing Setups. We got a couple more sponsors. We'll get to those in just a little bit as the pace car getting set to work its way pit side here in just a moment. We'll get back underway. Octavio Rondoletto, Zachary Mertez working their way back to the front of the field. As the green flag's out, we're back underway. It's a good jump by Rondoletto, but a bit of wheel spin that time for Zachary Mertez. Mertez going to fall back just a bit on the start. Now he's got Kyle Hardy closing in on him as they work their way down the back straightaway. Down to the inside goes Xander Levi. Peyton Craig up on the high side that time. Aiden Schramm right up in this fight as Rondoletto able to pull away a little bit, as does Mertez. But the battle 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th all together, and they're going to open the door as well to William Owens right behind them to get up in this fight. So we'll keep our eyes on this one as they head down the back straightaway. Peyton Craig clears out into that 3rd spot, so the battle side by side for 4th between Schramm and Hardy. It's Hardy on the bottom, Schramm up top. A little bit of contact off of 4 that time as they work their way back around to the start finish line. Aiden Schramm going to clear ahead of Kyle Hardy, who's now side by side with Xander Levi. So it's Levi up on the high side, a little bit of contact with the outside wall for that Steve Parks lookalike number 42 machine as they work their way down the front straight away now. Here comes Hardy and Levi. William Owens right there. Aaron Murphy up into the 8th spot. Kevin Goodall 9. Sean Smith up into the 10th spot as Peyton Craig up into position number 3 with Aiden Schramm right there. But battle about to be on for the race lead as Zachary Mertez closing in on that of Octavio Rondoletto. We'll ride on board here with the Mertez Esports 02 of Zachary Mertez as he heads down the front straight away, headed for turns number 1 and 2. You can see that 48 machine just up the road, the Byte 500, 48 of Octavio Rondoletto, trying to escape the clutches here of Zachary Mertes, not quite able to do so as of yet, as they work their way through 10% of the way through this event here tonight. Rondoletto still leads over Mertes, but battle on for the 4th spot once again. Down on the inside, Aiden Schramm. He's got Xander Levi trying to get a spot back on him. Schramm was up 7 spots, now back to 6, as he'll fall into position number 5. William Owens working his way forward as well in the 30 machine, taking a look up to the high side of Kyle Hardy, not quite able to get through that time, so going to give him a little bump into turns number 1 and 2 here at the Iowa Speedway. Of course, these drivers primarily will focus on that freshly paved area we just saw them go through. If you venture a little bit higher, this racetrack tends to get bumpy, tends to act like a little bit of a cheese grater when it comes to those tires. So these guys have to manage those tires here tonight. As of course, we mentioned it already, 3 sets waiting in the pits and 1 set on the car to start today's race. So 4 sets total available for them here this evening in the Reigel Promotions Pavement Series. As the battle continues here between Xander Levi and Aiden Schramm, looks like we got one in the outside wall right there. Kyle Hardy gonna take a visit with the outside wall, then into the right rear quarter panel of that of William Owens. That could have been absolutely catastrophic that time for both of those drivers, as a right hook into the outside wall here at the Iowa Speedway doesn't tend to end well. Doesn't necessarily mean they wouldn't be able to continue on, but means they would have a long road ahead. As a bit of contact there, we're going to have an incident over here in turns 1 and 2. Hard hitting the outside wall for Kyle Hardy, as the incident going to continue. Aaron Murphy going to get collected in that one. We'll get our second 618 engraving and design yellow flag in the air here for this one. Let's take a look and see what just happened. Watching this incident brewing here between Hardy and Murphy. Bit of contact from Hardy into the back of Aaron Murphy. Murphy going to go for a slider, slides back up. Kyle Hardy going to go hard into the outside wall. Aaron Murphy going to lose it up ahead. He gets sideways. That's going to be what brings out the caution right there. The 41 getting sideways, because Hardy did keep pointed in the right direction, so that would not be enough to trigger one of those 618 engraving and designs caution flags. But what it is good enough to do is bring the 41 and the 35, so Murphy and Hardy both, to Dirt Series Promotions pit road. And of course, as mentioned here tonight, we do not have any fast repairs available, so these drivers, when they come down, they gotta wait it out. They have to try to get those cars fixed. Eli Harris coming down. Rick Good also gonna come down. We're about 25 laps into this one, 150 to go. You may see some tires come into play here. We'll watch. First up coming into his box will be that of Eli Harris. Let's see if the right side does get jacked up. Yes, it does. Rick Good looks like he missed his pit box, so he's gonna have to back up and come to the attention of his Menards crew. He's also going to get jacked up, get some tires, and work his way on out. Once again, 24 laps in, 150 to go here from the Iowa Speedways, the Reigel Promotions Pavement Series, live on Reigel Promotions Esports. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
And getting set to come back to the restart here from the Iowa Speedway. Pace car going to work its way down pit side as we'll hand the field back over to Octavio Rondoletto and Zachary Mertez as they work their way down the front straightaway once again. Good jump out front by Rondoletto. Mertez falls back into that second spot as Peyton Craig up into position number 3. Aiden Schramm looking to the high side of Craig as they work their way off of turn number 2 and down the back straightaway. Couple drivers out of this one. Kyle Hardy retired for the night. Aaron Murphy still on pit road, and Rick Good finds himself one lap down as he is currently trying to rejoin the field. Eli Harris gonna work his way pit side. Gotta wonder if potentially he has a black flag on that machine. We'll keep our eyes peeled and see if he does work his way back out onto the racetrack in any point, as Rick Good also gonna go pit side. So what started as a 19 car field down to 14 currently still out on the racetrack is passed for position. 13th goes to Benjamin Wirt as battles on now. Not really too many, honestly, through the top 10 as everybody straightening out into single file for the most part. First real battle is back here between Robert Puckett, Tito Bonilla, and Joseph Groom, as Groom working his way up on the high side. One of the first drivers we've seen do that here so far. Nobody really venturing outside of the dark paved area down on the inside middle lane. So for Groom to go up there, kind of have to question it a little bit, but we'll see if it pays off for him. It doesn't right there as he goes right into the outside wall. Most likely hit one of those big bumps that they have here at the Iowa Speedways. We'll jump back up into the top 5. Battles on between Peyton Craig and Xander Levi. Levi inside, Craig outside as they work their way through turns number 3 and 4. Xander Levi in the Pennzoil machine down on the inside. Peyton Craig in the unsponsored 78 pulls himself out front as they work their way through 1 and 2 once again. Back out front though, Octavio Rondoletto. He started this race up on the pole and he has led ever since. Zachary Mertez started alongside him, still holding solid in position number 2. Aiden Schramm started outside the top 10. Didn't have a great qualifying effort here today, but has himself up in position number 3. That is currently the hard charger of the day. We'll keep an eye on that one. Hard charger brought to you by Twisted Speed. Of course, another driver up a bunch of spots. Michael Farmer currently sitting in the 11th spot in car number 98 as he's got himself in a tight battle back here with Christopher Hibbs, Benjamin Wirt, Joseph Groom, Tito Bonilla right there, as well as all these drivers towards the rear of the field duking it out. They don't care that they're outside the top 10. They just know that they gotta go, they gotta get spots, and there's a good opportunity to collect some points here today at the Iowa Speedway. Is lap number 34 up on the board. Xander Levi gonna lose a couple of spots here as he continues his battle out with Peyton Craig. Craig on the high side, Levi on the bottom. William Owens coming up into this fight as well. Owens started back in the 7th spot, currently sitting there in position number 6 as he's currently trying to work his way forward. Looks like issues for Aaron Murphy. Again, sideways on the racetrack. That'll bring out another 618 Engraving and Designs yellow flag as we'll take a look and see what just happened right there to Murphy. Gotta think cold tires coming into play. I would say so. He comes out, it snaps on him, kicks it sideways, slides back up the track, and puts us under caution once again. That is probably as cut and dry of an incident as that one does get right there for Aaron Murphy. I'm thinking we may see a couple more cars down pit road this time. We'll see what Rondoletto and Mertez do. I think if either one of them decides to work their way down pit road, that would trigger quite a few more cars, but apparently I am very wrong, or pit lane is not open yet. It is though, as Benjamin Wirt works his way down the Dirt Series Promotions pit road here tonight. Gonna come to the attention of the Reigel Promotions esports crew. Rondoletto here so far this season, obviously picking up the victory last time out. That was a couple of months ago, though. That came back in May in the Heartland 200, brought to you by TJ Visuals at the Kansas Speedway on May 28th. Next race up in the series is the Jack-O-Lantern 200, the second annual, coming up at the Auto Club Speedway. It'll be a nighttime race once again on Thursday, October the 9th, and then we will head to Charlotte for the World Championships on November the 20th. That is another Thursday night event back at the 2018 version of the Charlotte Motor Speedway. And then we'll have the Regal Promotions Esports Award Show brought to you by Sick Trophies on Sunday, December 7th at 7 p.m. But through the series so far here in 2025, Octavio Rondoletto, 3 top 10s in 3 starts, 2 of those with top 5 finishes and a victory in that one as well. So pretty solid start to the season there for Rondoletto, a 3.7 average finish. The only other driver that has been consistently up there as well that is also here tonight, that is Zachary Mertes. 6.5 average finish, 1 top 10 in 2 starts. So he did miss 1, but back here tonight. One thing to keep your eye on here throughout the evening, as Aaron Murphy has parked for the night as well. Rick Good has rejoined the field 4 laps down. Eli Harris has rejoined the field as well, 2 laps behind your race leaders. But one thing to keep an eye on is if we do get a long green flag run, lap traffic is going to come into play here. Sometimes coming off of those corners, the close-up between the quicker lead lap cars and those going a lap down will be rather rapid, and you may often find a lap car in a spot where maybe you just didn't want to see them. So we'll see how that comes into play a little bit later on if we do get a long green flag run here tonight, as 136 laps to go here in this one. We'll get set to come back to the green this time by. Octavio Rondoletto going to lead down the back straightaway with Zachary Mertes in the second spot. Third right now is Peyton Craig. and Schramm in position number 4. Xander Levi rounds out the top 5 here as battles on for that 5th spot. Actually, correction, no, make that, the 5th spot there with William Owens, but Sean Smith and Kevin Goodall right there as well. Those drivers trying to get up into the fight, trying to put themselves a little bit closer here to the front of the field as we're working our way about a third of the way through the opening stages of this one here at the Iowa Speedway. Keep our eyes back on this battle around Levi, Schramm, Owens, Smith, Goodall, Puckett. All these drivers have had the opportunity to work their way forward here, except for Puckett, who had fallen a little bit further back than he might have wanted, now on the way back towards the front of the field. So on a bit of a rebound run here so far for Robert Puckett. Started in 5th, now up into position number 9, as issues there for Sean Smith. Look like some connection problems for the 77 machine. As battles on just ahead of him between Aiden Schramm and Xander Levi. As Levi on the inside, Schramm up top, coming around to put 44 laps up on the boards, 130 to go next time by. Levi slides up nearly into the side of Schramm that time as they head down the back straightaway. Levi clears to 4th, Schramm back to 5th. Owens in the 6th spot, looking up to the high side, trying to find his way forward. Sean Smith in 7th, Kevin Goodall in the 8th spot, Robert Puckett 9th. Benjamin Wirt has had a couple visits to pit road here so far tonight, currently sitting in 10th. The rest of your lead lap cars, Tito Bonilla, Joseph Groom, Christopher Hibbs, and Michael Farmer. 14 cars on the lead lap. Eli Harris 2 laps down, and Rick Good 4 laps to the rear of the leaders. Out so far are Aaron Murphy, Kyle Hardy, and Andrew Reigel. So we'll keep our eyes on this battle. Let's go ahead and do a lap this upcoming time by in just a moment. Wait till they get back to the start finish line, and then we'll ride on board with Xander Levi. So there's a couple laps on board here throughout the field at the Iowa Speedway, giving you a different perspective, letting you see what the drivers deal with out here on the racetrack. And it really does vary depending on where you're running throughout the field. We had drivers up towards the front. We dipped into the drivers towards the rear as well. As the battle's on for position number 3, we'll jump up to that one now as the battle picks up between Xander Levi and Peyton Craig. Craig in the 4th spot, Levi 3rd, William Owens in 5th, Aiden Schramm falling back a couple of spots to the 6th position. Gotta wonder potentially if the tire's going out for him as Robert Puckett put himself through the grass that time. Let's see if we can take a look and see what happened there to Puckett. He was battling it out there with Benjamin Wirt, as looks like he's just gonna lose it off the corner. Goes through the grass, does continue on as quick look down to Dirt Series Promotions pit lane. Michael Farmer coming down to the pits as he's got some heavy front end damage on that machine. He may be done for the day. Not sure what happened to Michael Farmer that time, but we'll see if we can find a quick look. Looks like it might have been something that happened all alone there for Farmer, as it's not picking up on our event tracker. So Michael Farmer, we'll keep an eye, see if he does continue on, now losing a couple laps here from the restart. Aiden Schramm currently falling back to the 6th spot. He's lost himself that Hard Charger award on the day as well. We'll keep an eye and see if he's able to regain it. As of right now, Benjamin Wirt, the biggest mover, up 6 spots, started 14th, currently sitting in position number 8. As we'll pick up the battle between Peyton Craig and William Owens. There's a bit of contact there that time, sends Craig sideways. He had to gather it back up as now Owens looks down to the inside of him as they work their way through turns number 1 and 2 down the back straightaway. Looks like Schramm just had a kiss with the outside wall in the 86 machine. He'll gather it back up, continue on as back out front. Octavio Rondoletto leading the way here by almost 2 seconds over Zachary Mertez. Xander Levi in position number 3, Peyton Craig 4th, William Owens in the 5th spot, Aiden Schramm 6th, Sean Smith 7th, Benjamin Wirt 8th, Robert Puckett 9th, Kevin Goodall rounding out the top 10. Then it's Christopher Hibbs 11th, Joseph Groom in 12th, and Tito Bonilla in position number 13 as he's trying to use that inside lane, see if he can get it to hook just a little bit and get moving in the correct direction there. Let's touch on a couple other sponsors while we have a bit of a lull in the action here. Last lap pass bonus courtesy of FND Awareness. $5 going to the winner of that one. Mr. Clean Award, courtesy, there we go, that was a tough word. Courtesy of Triplet Motors, a $15 prize to Mr. Clean here tonight. Paint Scheme of the Year, which of course will be brought up at our award show, will be brought to you by Right Rear Racing, and the Team Championship will be brought to you by Derek's Action Photos. A custom trophy going to be awarded to the team champions here in 2025. Michael Farmer, done for the day, has opted to retire, which we thought may have happened with that heavy front end damage he had. This will pick up a battle now for position number 11. That is Joseph Groom going to get by Christopher Hibbs. They had a little bit of contact, push Hibbs up the racetrack. He had to come and catch it, able to gather back up. Holding on to position number 12, as no major battles throughout the field. This is probably the closest we have right now. Craig and Owens for position number 4. And then behind them as well, Schramm and Smith. That one might be a little bit closer, as Sean Smith up to the back end of Aiden Schramm as they work their way down the front straight away. William Owens going to take a look down to the inside of Peyton Craig through turn number 1 and 2 this time. As they work their way off of 2, they're going to head down the back straight away, nose to tail, side by side behind them, though. Schramm on the inside, Smith up on the high side. That's a battle for position number 6, as Aiden Schramm looking to try to get that advantage as they come off turn number 4, working their way down the front straight away. But Smith able to get by, move Smith up into position number 6, started 12th, so he's up 6 spots on the day. Now your hard charger currently with Benjamin Wirt just behind Aiden Schramm, trying to work his way up into that 7th position. Other than that, close battle here right now between Kevin Goodall and Joseph Groom, as Groom down to the inside of Goodall. I believe Joseph Groom might have saved a little bit more tires than that of Goodall and Hibbs, as those drivers now going to find themselves in a battle for position number 11. That is Hibbs up top, Goodall down on the bottom. Actually, correction, that was Hibbs on the bottom, Goodall up top as they work their way down the back straight away now. So everybody finding where they belong out here on the racetrack, as battles are getting tight throughout the field. And one thing to keep in mind at this point in the race is tires are starting to go away on these guys, and that's going to be something we'll see come into play a little bit more. You may see guys start to slide up a little bit. You may see a couple more hits with the outside wall. As we're going to come off turn number 4 here, the battle continues between Owens and Smith, and it's also on between Schramm and Wirt. And also kind of getting sucked back into this battle as well is that of Peyton Craig, as Xander Levi solidly out into the 3rd spot by about 3 seconds over Peyton Craig. It's Craig, Smith, Owens all under a blanket. A little bit behind them, Wirt and Schramm still side by side for position. Then another 3 seconds back to that of Puckett. 5 seconds back from him just about is Joseph Groom, who has another second back to Hibbs, Goodall, and Bonilla, another 4 seconds back. And that's something to keep our eyes on as well. That, of course, is a lap car right behind your race leader. That is Rick Good, that just went an additional lap down. I'm going to go ahead and throw up the track map here. Watch your race leader in the 48 machine. You'll see him coming to the start finish line now, just on the bottom of the screen. So just up the road from him, that is the lap car of Tito Bonilla. Once he gets by Bonilla, he has about a straightaway until he gets to that of Kevin Goodall or Christopher Hibbs. So not going to be too worried about too much lap traffic at this point, but there's a big difference in speed from that at the front of the field to that at the back, as they're currently separated by almost an entire lap at this point. As we're going to jump back to this battle here between Peyton Craig and Sean Smith. It's Craig on the high side, Smith trying to use the bottom lane as he'll file back into line. William Owens and Benjamin Wirt right there as well, as Owens up on the high side, Wirt down on the bottom as they work their way down the back straightaway through turns number 3 and 4. I want to thank you all for joining us here tonight on Regal Promotions Esports. Once again, my name is Robert Hill Jr. I am the official voice of the Cornwall Motor Speedway and the Mohawk International Raceway, both dirt tracks up here in Ontario, Canada, and in Upper New York. Also the voice of the Hawkesbury Hawks Junior A Hockey Club up here in Ontario as well. Is William Owen's going to have a rather large brush with the outside wall. That's going to allow Aiden Schramm to close in on him. That is Eli Harris up on the high side. Harris has fallen a lap down to the leaders as Sean Smith battling some connection issues. He appears right in front of Peyton Craig that time. And for those of you that are new to iRacing, when a car disappears and comes back, usually there's about a second or two where you can go through that car, and then all of a sudden they're going to become solid just afterwards. So that's when things could go real bad if that were to occur once again. But quickly approaching 100 laps to go here in this one tonight, the Reigel Promotions Pavement Series from the Iowa Speedway. It's round number 4 of the 2025 season, and Octavio Rondoletto last time out picked up the victory, and he's currently leading this one. A couple upcoming events here in Reigel Promotions Esports. The Gunslinger Challenge at Millbridge is an invite-only event coming up on Monday, September 18th. That will be broadcast live on Pit Stop TV. Then on Tuesday, September 9th, the Summer Shootout Series is back, round number 4 of the Dirt Modified Series from Eldora. That'll be at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time on Tuesday, September 9th, courtesy of Right Rear Racing, so it'll be live over on their channel. Monday, September 15th is the Sovereign Showdown, round number 10 of the 360 Sprint Series from Eldora. The winner of that one will get a free King's Clash entry. That'll be live on Reigel Promotions Esports. Then on Wednesday, September 17th is the King's Clash from Eldora, 40 laps in the 360 sprints, live right here on Reigel Promotions Esports. Then, as mentioned earlier, the Jack-O-Lantern 200, round 5 of the Pavement Series will be in the next-gen car, 100 laps from Auto Club on Thursday, October 9th at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time. Broadcast gets underway at 8:30 right here on Reigel Promotions Esports. As just taking a look through the field so far, we have lost Michael Farmer, Aaron Murphy, Kyle Hardy, and Andrew Reigel. Rick Good, 5 laps down. 3 laps down is that of Eli Harris, Tito Bonilla, and Kevin Goodall, both 1 lap down each. As Christopher Hibbs, if he looks behind him, yep, that is Octavio Rondoletto, your race leader, closing in on the 11th position, and that of Christopher Hibbs. Just up the road, Joseph Groom still in the top 10. Let's watch this battle that has picked up for position number 6. Peyton Craig and William Owens currently separated by about a car length between the two of them. But I got to give a shout out to the guy ahead of them as well. Benjamin Wirt has himself up into position number 5 of 9 spots on the day, as Joseph Groom going to go around ahead of the race leader and puts us under caution. Brought to you by 618 Engraving and Designs for the 4th time here tonight as we watch Joseph Groom. He's just going to snap off of turn number 4. That's where the majority of our incidents have happened here tonight, and is quite often the case here at the Iowa Speedway. Gets up into the outside wall, loses it, slides down, slides back up. And I just want to point out here, down on the bottom, that white car, that is your race leader. So it was very close for Octavio Rondoletto, and I was very wrong last time, but I think I'm going to be right this time. We're approaching halfway. I would expect the Dirt Series Promotions pit road to be a busy place coming up here in just a couple of moments. Rondoletto, Mertes, Levi, Smith, Craig, Owens, Schramm, Puckett, Hibbs, amongst those that have not yet pit. Benjamin Wirt may go a different strategy. He has been down pit road already. As here come your race leaders, everybody coming down throughout the entire field here. I believe Christopher Hibbs, yeah, he's going to go down as well. I thought he may end up staying out as he was the last to come down, but had a good chunk back from the leaders. But we'll keep an eye on pit exit here. That is what may come into play here. We may see somebody be able to beat that of Rondoletto off of pit road and work their way out to the race lead with an easy maneuver. 𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸 gonna come quickly off of pit lane. I have to wonder if potentially he missed his pit box. I do believe he did so. Rondeletto, Mertez, Levi, Smith, and Owens going to be the first 5 off of pit lane, as 𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸 looks like he's going to get set to come back down here in just a moment. We'll step aside once again. 80 laps in to tonight's Regal Promotions Pavement Series Summer Shootout, live from the Iowa Speedway. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series in officially licensed cars engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
As the field comes back around, green flag going to be back out once again. Good jump by Rondeletto, but Mertez right there with him. This is an opportunity for Zachary Mertez to get back into the fight after he was able to come down, get himself some fresh tires. As Robert Puckett going to go for a spin there off of turn number 2. He'll get pointed back in the right direction and be able to continue on as Rondeletto and Mertez continue to battle it out for that top spot. Tito Bonillo gonna go through the grass on the front straightaway. Looks like he lost it off turn number 4, which unfortunately has been quite common here tonight throughout the field. Puckett gonna take it to pit lane as we'll keep our eyes on this battle for the race lead. Rondeletto gonna work his way up as Mertez tags the outside wall that time. As he's taking a look through, this is the battle for just about every other position except for the top 3 right now, is Craig, Schramm, Wirt, Smith going to be further back with Hibbs and Goodall, but quite a few cars up here behind that is Xander Levi, as Levi, Owens, Craig, and Schramm all together. Benjamin Wirt right there as well. Wirt still your biggest mover so far, +7 on the day as the battle continues for that top spot. Less than 100 laps to go here in this one. And so far, Rondeletto, it's been tough to crack him so far. He has led pretty much every moment of this race, but looks like we're going to get a caution, and it's going to involve Peyton Craig and Aiden Schramm here on the front straightaway. Take a look and see what just happened between these guys. That was the battle for position number 4. Looks like Peyton Craig gonna come up, get into the side of William Owens. Owens gonna get kicked sideways, comes back off the wall. Then Craig gonna come back up towards the wall collects Aiden Schramm once again. They'll end up in the outside wall and go for a skid just a little bit here before coming to a stop at the front straightaway, and the caution coming out. Aiden Schramm. Oh, something's just happened there to Aiden Schramm that caused him to wreck again. Let's see if we can back this one up and get a second look. I believe the left front wheel might be a little bit messed up on that machine. Yes, so Schramm wasn't able to turn. That's what happened there. William Owens going to take it pit side in the 30. Peyton Craig going to go pit side in the 78. Craig has quite a bit of damage on that front end and is going to have to bring it to the attention of his pit crew. So looks to be potentially night over for a couple more drivers here in this one. It has not been the easiest of races for these guys, especially in the midfield. Easiest race so far has been for Octavio Rondoletto. He's just been hammered down and along for the ride here tonight. Let's go ahead and talk about, we've talked about all of our sponsors here tonight. Let's talk about the Pavement Elite Series just a little bit. Some prizes up for grabs here this season. Champion gonna go home with $100 plus a championship trophy. Second place will go home with $70. Third is $60. Fourth gets $40, and fifth will get $30 here at the end of the season. So nice little payout for these guys. You don't see a ton of that across iRacing leagues anymore, especially when it comes to a league like this where drivers aren't paying to race. It's a free race, so these guys get to come in, have a chance to race for a little bit of money. You can't really ask for much better than that. Plus a championship trophy up for grabs. That's pretty cool too. And if you want to support Reigel Promotions Esports and all these great events, head to regalpromotions.com/shop and you can get yourself a little bit of merch. They got some nice posters up for grabs on the website, t-shirts, hoodies. Those hoodies look real nice. I might have to get myself one right now. You can't really ask for a much better hoodie price either, by the way. $39.99. That's pretty unbeatable price. $24.99 for a t-shirt and for an Always in Motion poster as well. Also over on the website, you can find all the league info, the points, the schedule, just about anything you need to know except for what to eat for breakfast. You can find over on that Reigel Promotions Esports website. Be sure to check it out and let us know in the YouTube chat here tonight where you're watching from, who you're cheering for, and can we expect to see you in the Jack-O-Lantern 200, the next event in this series, coming up on Thursday, October 9th in the Cup car at the Auto Club Speedway. 618 Engraving and Designs getting a workout here tonight with this caution flag. 5 cautions on the day as we're coming back to the green flag once again. Another good jump from Octavio Rondoletto as he's able to clear ahead of Zachary Mertez. Mertez jumped in behind him briefly there as Levi going to come out to position number 3. Benjamin Wirt right behind him up into that 4th spot. By the way, unfortunately for Aiden Schramm, he is done for the night. He has parked it, loaded it up, and taken it back home to the shop. Robert Puckett 5 laps down now. Eli Harris 2 laps down. Tito Bonilla and Joseph Groom a lap down apiece. William Owens has actually been able to continue on in that 30 machine. Peyton Craig, we saw some pretty heavy damage on his car. Still see that damage, but it has not slowed him down too much as of yet, as he is up into position number 6, trying to get into the top 5, but battles on for the race lead, and that is not something I've said a lot here tonight. We have not had a lot of challenges for Octavio Rondoletto. as they head through turns number 3 and 4. Rondeletto and Mertes, your top two. As Zachary Mertes up into that second spot, closing in on Rondeletto. Rondeletto gonna get into the outside wall. For Rondeletto, one of the rare mistakes that he's made here tonight. He has not made many of those, but unfortunately on this occasion, gonna have a little kiss with the outside wall. He'll still hold on to the lead by 0.3 of a second over Zachary Mertes. Another 0.7 back to Xander Levi. Benjamin Wirt, Sean Smith, the top 5. Peyton Craig in the 6th position. 7th is Christopher Hibbs. 8th, Kevin Goodall. 9th, William Owens. That rounds out your lead lap cars at this point. Bonilla, Groom, Harris, Puckett, and Good still running at this point, a lap or more down. Rondeletto and Mertes both going to make a kiss with the outside wall that time. So cars turning into a little bit of a battle for them as Eli Harris going to take it to Dirt Series Promotions pit lane and to the attention of his crew. We'll see if he's able to continue on at this point. As battles on for position number 6, Peyton Craig has Christopher Hibbs behind him. Hibbs into the outside wall. Going to collect a couple of others, and we'll get another 618 engraving and designs. Yellow flag, and that looks to be night over for Christopher Hibbs. Possibly a couple others as well, as we'll take a look and see what happened. Looks like Hibbs sent it almost into the back there of Peyton Craig, as that's going to send Hibbs sideways. He'll kick it back up the racetrack and collect a couple others. Rick Good going to get a piece of that, and potentially William Owens as well. So Hibbs going to take it to pit lane and potentially going to be done for the night. We'll give you an update on that car here momentarily. Zachary Mertes thought about coming down pit lane as we're closing in on lap number 100. Peyton Craig will come down, of course, still having some substantial front end damage. So we will take a look at Dirt Series Promotions pit lane as Craig, Owens, and Hibbs all working their way down pit lane. For Craig and Owens, they've both been involved in a couple of incidents here tonight. So just looking for a little bit of repairs, see what they can do to get those cars back out on the racetrack, as both drivers going to come to the attention of their pit crews. 75 laps to go here from the Iowa Speedway. We'll give you a couple laps of pacing around here with your race leaders, but we'll step aside. We'll be right back. And getting set for the green flag this time, Octavio Rondeletto, Zachary Mertes, Xander Levi, Benjamin Wirt, Sean Smith, the top 5. Then is Kevin Goodall, William Owens, Tito Bonilla on the lead lap now, getting his lap back with the latest 618 engraving and designs yellow flag. This field going to work their way off of turn number 4, coming back to the green flag this time. Less than 75 to go. This time is Rondeletto back out to a good lead early on. He's going to lead through turns number 1 and 2. Mertes back to the second spot. Levi into position number 3. Sean Smith in 4th. Benjamin Wirt, your top 5, as battles on for position number 4. Wirt looks down to the inside of Smith that time, not quite able to get there. As Smith on Levi, but the caution going to come out again here. And it's Peyton Craig having issues. As mentioned, 618 engraving and design getting quite their money's worth here tonight. As, contact from Groom into the side of Craig. Gonna send Peyton Craig hard into the outside wall. I want to ride on board here with Peyton Craig. Let's go full speed. He spins back to the right to try to save it, and that hooks him right up into the outside wall. Night gonna be done for Peyton Craig as he finds himself down on Dirt Series Promotions pit lane, as does Zachary Mertes. Mertes coming down, the only driver from the top 5 to work his way to pit lane. Will this pay off for him? We'll have to see. 70 laps to go to decide that one. William Owens also going to come down pit lane. So for Mertes, I'm going to assume 4 tires going to go on this car, and that will leave him with 1 set of tires still remaining pit side when we do go green once again. So Mertes coming back out onto the racetrack. He'll work his way up and find the rest of the field. So for Mertes, he'll restart in position number 7. I do not mind that call whatsoever, because for Rondeletto, last time down pit lane came on lap number 80. It's been about 25 laps since the pit stop, and when it comes down to it at the end of the race, 25 lap newer tires, that could be a huge difference maker, especially if Rondeletto is not able to make his way to pit lane before the end of this race. And with the way that it's going right now, we've lost a fair bit of cars. So the chances of a caution kind of slim out a little bit when you get down towards the end of the race. And we'll have to keep our eyes peeled, see what happens here in this one. But as of right now, Mertes going to restart in position number 7. You got to think he's probably going to be able to make quick work of a couple of these guys towards the tail of the lead lap. Bonilla's had his issues here tonight. Goodall has had a couple of issues. And then you get back up into Benjamin Wirt, Sean Smith, Xander Levi. Those guys have all had very strong, consistent races here so far tonight. They've all climbed forward. Octavio Rondeletto, he's done what he's had to do all night. Stayed in the lead, has not looked back, and continues to pace the field. Getting set to come back to the green flag this time. Pace car about to make its way back to the pit road and let us get back underway here from the Iowa Speedway. In the Reigel Promotions Pavement Series, green flag's back out. We're back underway. Octavio Rondeletto going to lead into turns number 1 and 2 as things get stacked up towards the rear of the field. Already seeing Mertes up 3 spots just through the first two corners, so he was able to make quick work there of Bonilla, Owens, Goodall, and Wirt now as working his way forward. Zachary Mertez up into position number 4. He figured he didn't have anything at that point for Rondeletto. Have to try something a little bit different, and so far it looks like it may work out for him, but still a long way to go. If we get a quick caution in the next, oh man, that gets real tight right there as Mertez gonna make contact with Sean Smith. Smith falls back into position number 5 as Mertez back into the top 3, gonna work his way down the front straightaway. Xander Levi holding on to the second spot as the battle is for third now between Mertez and Benjamin Wirt, as Wirt looks up to the high side of Mertez, not quite able to get there that time as they head down the backstretch. Battles on towards the rear as well between William Owens and Kevin Goodall, as Goodall down on the inside. Actually, no, that was Robert Puckett, so a lap car trying to work his way back up, see if he can get himself back on the lead lap the hard way here. As unfortunately for the Peyton Craig fans, he is out of the race here today. Hibbs and Goods still on pit lane. Puckett 5 down, Harris 2 down, and Groom 1 lap down as Kevin Goodall battles it out here with William Owens. Owens up on the high side, Goodall down on the bottom as they work their way down the front straightaway through turns number 1 and 2 once again. Rondeletto, your leader. Levi second is 3/10 back from him now, or actually 6/10 back is Zachary Mertez, as Mertez holding on to the third spot. Wirt behind him in 4th. Smith in position number 5, but Rondeletto has done absolutely everything right here tonight. He's not had to battle it out too much with just about anybody. The caution flags have fallen at the right time for him. He hasn't had to work his way through lap traffic. He's been able to set the pace. He's been able to keep the pace and continues to do so out front. As Zachary Mertez, who was in the second position before the last caution here, now into the third spot and rapidly closing in on that of Xander Levi. So expect to see Mertez back in the second spot here within the next couple of laps, probably within the next lap or so, or maybe even the next couple of corners, as Mertez down to the inside of Levi. Levi up top, 60 laps to go here from the Iowa Speedway. Mertez back to second. Levi gonna fall back into third. Wirt holding on to that 4th spot. Sean Smith in 5th. William Owens 6th. 7th is Kevin Goodall. 8th is Tito Bonilla. And everybody else 1 or more laps down. So the race started with a field of 19 cars. We have lost quite a few of them with a bit of adversity towards the start of this race, and that continued throughout the middle portions of today's event. But so far since the restart, everyone seems to have calmed down, found their positioning out on the racetrack, giving each other a little bit of extra space at this point, and just trying to get those laps in. I think the drivers have realized that, you know, if we give each other a little bit more room, chances are we could stay green a little bit longer and try to get a really good run in. And I've kept the updates so far throughout the race on the hard charger of the day. Benjamin Wirt still holding on to that spot, plus 10 on the day. The next highest will be Sean Smith, plus 7 to position number 5, and Tito Bonilla plus 7 to the 8th spot. Eli Harris plus 7 to position number 10. But of course, the tiebreaker in that one would go to Sean Smith at plus 7, but none of that matters at this point, as Benjamin Wirt is plus 10, and there's still a long way to go. So we've had a couple questions on what the track state was at the start of the day here today. And, well, it was clean. So it was a 0% track state at the start of practice, and that carried all the way through practice, qualifying, and into the race as well. So definitely a lot higher than 0 right now. But at the start of the night, we started clean and green as battles on for position number 7. Trading spots there was Kevin Goodall and Tito Bonilla. Bonilla Gonna get hit just a little bit there as Goodall went by him. Now working their way through turns number 3 and 4 once again. Bonilla looking down to the inside of Goodall as Levi gonna start dropping back a bit here from Mertes, which is expected, as Zachary Mertes, of course, on the freshest tires in the building here this evening by 25 laps or so. Crazy thing to me, though, is if we pull this up, Rondeletto, 25 lap older tires, consistently quicker with the exception of 1 lap in the last 5 than that of Zachary Mertes. So that just shows the pace that we have here from Octavio Rondeletto, who just continues to have a blistering pace here early on. We'll see the update on this one where Mertes is just a little bit quicker, but not enough to really dig into that lead that Rondeletto has at this point. Still a second and a half between first place Rondeletto and second place Mertes. For Mertes, he's built a gap himself over Xander Levi, who's about 0.8 of a second back in position number 3. Benjamin Wirt in 4th. Sean Smith in the 5th spot. He has not much of a gap at all over William Owens, as that's the battle we'll pick up here, and we'll ride on board with William Owens. So that battle between Smith and Owens, let's take a look at the lap time difference between these two drivers. Owens consistently quicker in the 30 machine. Just hasn't had the opportunity to get by and make that pass happen as of yet. So we'll keep our eyes on that one and see how it continues to develop. As back up front, Mertes working his way through some lap traffic. That was Joseph Groom going to go an additional lap down, 2 laps down on the day, as Rondeletto continues to lead the way, coming to about 46 to go, 47 to go this time by, as Rondeletto off turn number 4 nearly brushes the outside wall. Zachary Mertes in position number 2, Levi still in that 3rd spot. Let's see if we can take a look at how close Rondeletto gets to the outside wall as he comes off of turn number 4. He's been very close a couple of times. Here's we ride on that right front camera. Well, not a great camera, but you can see not as close as I thought that he would have gotten. As let's see some of these other guys a little bit further back as they'll come off turn number 4 this time. Here comes Tito Bonilla. Does he get any? Well, he gets a lot further. So never mind on that one. Failed attempt at scientific research right there. I guess I'm not getting accepted into one of those Ivy League research schools whatsoever. As Rondeletto, Mertes, and Levi still leading the way. Closest battle on the racetrack right now is this battle that's side by side down the backstretch. Owens was up on the high side, Smith down on the bottom as they work their way through turns number 3 and 4. William Owens just trying to get by, looking for the opportunity to work his way through and get himself by that of Sean Smith as they come off of turn number 2 down the back straightaway. Owens up top once again. Smith down on the inside, still side by side through turns number 3 and 4. Sean Smith with the advantage down on the bottom side, but Owens getting that bite up top. He's going to work himself up into position number 5 and clears his way through into turns number 1 and 2. But once again, Smith going to try to battle back, looking down to the inside as they head down the back straightaway. Rondeletto is still your leader. And again, he's led just about every lap. And by the way, let's take a look at the track temperature. We started at 83 degrees Fahrenheit. We have not gone up much whatsoever. 4 degrees gained to 87 from the start of this one. So really not much at all here in terms of temperature increase or decrease. As looking ahead of your race leader, that is 8th place Kevin Goodall, that's currently trying to hold on to his lead lap position. And one thing to keep an eye on potentially here at this point is if we do go green all the way to the end now, can these guys make it on fuel? I'm not sure what the fuel tank capacity is in these ARCA cars, but with some of these guys pitting back around lap number 85, or correction on that one, lap number 80, it's already been 56 laps since they last pit. Can they go 95 laps on fuel, throw in a couple cautions in there? I'm not sure, so we'll have to keep our eyes out and see what happens. There's Tito Bonilla about to go a lap down. Kevin Goodall brings it down to Dirt Series Promotions pit lane as Bonilla goes a lap down. So now only 6 cars remaining on the lead lap, and 2 of them are in a battle for position. They don't have much to worry about when it comes to going a lap down. They have quite the gap now over your race leader, about 2/3 of a lap separating 6th and 7th, and or 5th and 6th in that of your race leader. As we have an incident on the racetrack, Kevin Goodall gonna go for a bit of a spin, but he's far enough off the racetrack that that is not gonna come into play as William Owens and Sean Smith go by him. Up on the high side there, that is Eli Harris, as Harris currently 3 laps down, just trying to get his laps in, see what he can do, staying out there on the track and putting the laps up on the board. It's worked out for him. He's already gained a handful of spots just from guys retiring, so can't really blame him too much for trying to make it work. So the race has kind of slowed the battles down a little bit as drivers getting into that conservation mode a little bit, try to save some fuel, see what they can do. As this is not a battle for position, but Kevin Goodall trying to work his way back onto the lead lap the hard way here, as well, I guess work his way back to 2 laps down, as he's currently sitting 3 laps behind your race leader in that of Octavio Rondeletto, who currently has 2 cars between himself and Zachary Mertez, as he's got a couple lap cars that have come into play here at this point. That's Joseph Groom up into the outside wall as Kevin Goodall gets by him. Groom still up in the outside wall as Mertez going to go by him. Coming to 30 laps to go next time by. So we'll do our best afterwards to get a word with your top 3 finishers in this one. I'm assuming we should be able to get all 3, as I do currently see, well, at least one of them in the Reigel Promotions Esports Discord channels. And that, of course, being Zachary Mertez hanging out over there. Xander Levi, Octavio Rondoletto still in your top three at this point. Rondoletto, your leader. Mertez second, Levi third, Wirt fourth, Owens fifth, Smith in the sixth spot as William Owens has been able to pull away from Sean Smith. Now up to the high side of Joseph Groom. It's Groom down on the bottom. Going to go another lap down to William Owens, the fifth place car, as Rondoletto still setting the pace down the back straightaway, working his way through turns number 3 and 4. As the pace has settled just a little bit, we're going to step aside, take a commercial break here under green, and we'll be back for the conclusion of tonight's Regal Promotions Pavement Series live from the Iowa Speedway. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
And back to the action here on the racetrack. 25 laps to go. Octavio Rondoletto continues to lead the way as he works his way through turns number 1 and 2. Headed down the back straightaway, Mertez holding on to second. Third is Xander Levi. Fourth right now is Benjamin Wirt. Fifth, William Owens. Sixth is Sean Smith. Seventh is Tito Bonilla. Kevin Goodall in eighth, Eli Harris. Ninth and 10th is Robert Puckett. Joseph Groom in position number 11 is the last car currently still running out here on the racetrack. His retirements include that of Peyton Craig, Christopher Hibbs, Rick Good, Aiden Schramm, Michael Farmer, Aaron Murphy, Kyle Hardy, and Andrew Regal, as Joseph Groom now takes it to Dirt Series Promotions pit lane. He'll take it to the attention of his crew, see if he can rejoin the field with 23 laps to go. Octavio Rondoletto today has been nothing short of extraordinary. Looking back at his previous starts here in this series, it's a continuous thing for him. Of course, winning last time out at the Kansas Speedway, led the majority of the laps there, 69 of the 134 laps that were run back in May. Zachary Mertez and Benjamin Wirt were second and third in that race as well, currently running second and fourth with 20 laps to go. Xander Levi was not in that event, but pretty impressive that continuously every time he's on this racetrack, Octavio Rondoletto appears to be the car to beat in those events. I mean, we look back at Rockingham as well, led 14 laps, finished second to Josh Cottle. Looking back at Daytona, Octavio Rondoletto finished in position number 8. That was the only race he didn't lead any laps, and that's Daytona. Anything can happen there. So pretty impressive pace that we've seen from this driver on a consistent basis. That basis continues here tonight as well, setting himself up rather nicely in the championship, which entering tonight, he did currently lead by 18 over Lautaro Lamperti, I should say, and he is not here tonight. Zachary Mertes entered this evening 4th in the points. This is going to be a big gain for him, should move up into that 2nd spot, as he's currently sitting in position number 2 in the points, as we watch Xander Levi try to navigate his way through a little bit of lap traffic. Things getting a little chaotic right here on the racetrack amongst these lap cars. Coming to 15 laps to go this time for Octavio Rondeletto. Just 15 laps to go here from the Iowa Speedway. Looking forward to talking with our podium finishers here tonight. If the podium does continue the same way that it's currently trending, the question for Mertes and Levi is really, what could you have done differently here tonight? And I don't know that there's anything that they could have done differently. It's just been that kind of a race here for Octavio Rondeletto. He's been able to jump out to the lead on each and every restart and just set himself up with a great start, pull away from the rest of the field, and just cruise the rest of the way. And that's worked out so well for him up to this point. 13 laps to go. He's got almost 5 seconds over second place Mertes, who has 25 lap newer tires. About 18 green flag laps on those, but it's just so impressive what he's been able to do. He's about to put 6th place Sean Smith a lap down. Only the top 5 currently remaining on the lead lap. It should remain that way at this point, as we're actually about to have a battle for position as well. Benjamin Wirt and William Owens going to be duking it out for positions number 4 and 5, as Wirt up on the high side. Owens going to take a look down to the inside of him. As Wirt and Owens continue to battle it out, going to be coming around this time. 11 laps to go from the Iowa Speedway here with Regal Promotions Esports in the Pavement Series, live from Iowa here tonight. 1 race to go in the Pavement Series. That one going to be coming up, or actually, correction, I should say 2 races to go in the Pavement Series. The Jack-O-Lantern 200 on Thursday, October 9th from the Auto Club Speedway. And then the Charlotte Motor Speedway wraps it all up with the World Championships on Thursday, November the 20th. And then we will officially crown the champion on awards night on December the 7th. Octavio Rondeletto going to work his way through a little bit more lap traffic here. That is Eli Harris and Robert Puckett. Both drivers multiple laps down, sticking it out here tonight, and it's going to pay off for them, as both of these drivers going to be within the top 10 when it comes to the conclusion of tonight's race, despite having early issues with their cars. A lot of damage, able to recover from that one. And Rondeletto, I believe he's led every lap here tonight. He may have lost 1 lap when Aiden Schramm had a pit mishap earlier on and ended up staying out on the racetrack, which or ended up coming back out without stopping in his box. So that may have given 1 lap to Schramm, but otherwise Rondeletto has led literally every other lap here tonight. Zachary Mertes has spent the majority of the night right where he started, in position number 2, as Eli Harris up into the outside wall. He may have had a tire go down right there So we'll keep our eyes peeled on the 115. If his issues continue, is he going to be able to make it to pit lane? That'll be a big question mark, and that's something that Octavio Rondeletto is definitely hoping here. And if you're Zachary Mertez, maybe you're thinking opposite. Maybe you're hoping that that a caution does come out here in these concluding 5 laps. Is Rondeletto going to come off turn number 4? Has a little bit of a moment right there, but gathers it up, crosses the line. 5 to go for Octavio Rondeletto. Zachary Mertez holding on to that second spot, has not been able to close the gap much here, but is slowly climbing back forward. I believe if we look at it, yes, about almost 0.2 quicker last time than that of Octavio Rondeletto, but 0.2 of a second, 4 laps, that's not going to be enough to get rid of a 4.1 second gap between your race leader and second place Zachary Mertez. Xander Levi holding steady in position number 3. William Owens in 4th. Benjamin Wirt, currently your hard charger, in position number 5. As Rondeletto going to come around. 3 laps to go this time for Octavio Rondeletto. Rondeletto, your race leader, continues to be the guy to beat here tonight as he's going to come through turns number 3 and 4. He'll come around and collect the popsicle sticks this time. It'll be 2 flags up, 2 laps to go for Rondeletto. Zachary Mertez continues to close that gap, but it's not going to be enough for him as he navigates his way through turns number 1 and 2. Xander Levi holding steady in the 3rd spot. He's got about 3 seconds over 4th place William Owens. So as of right now, that podium finish looks to be just about sewn up as the white flag's in the air. 1 lap to go here tonight for Octavio Rondeletto. The Byte 500 machine has led from the drop of the green flag, and he is going to lead from flag to flag here today. Through turns number 3 and 4 for the final time. Checkered flag is out. It's Octavio Rondeletto. Rondeletto goes back-to-back in the pavement series. Zachary Mertez going to come home in 2nd. Xander Levi going to come around and round out the podium in 3rd. William Owens 4th. Benjamin Wirt 5th here today, and he is your Twisted Speed hard charger, plus 9 spots on the day. That is a free setup pack courtesy of Twisted Speed for Benjamin Wirt. Sean Smith comes home in 6th. Tito Bonilla 7th. Kevin Goodall 8th. Eli Harris in 9th. And Robert Puckett rounds out your top 10 as your race winner. Here he comes down to the start-finish line. Octavio Rondeletto, your winner here today from the Iowa Speedway. And he led 174 out of 175 laps tonight. Zachary Mertez, the only other driver to lead a lap here today. So we're going to step aside. When we come back, we should be able to have a quick word with your podium finishers: Octavio Rondeletto, Zach Mertez, and Xander Levi. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back here from Iowa.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series in officially licensed cars engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
And we are back here from the Iowa Speedway. Going to go ahead and have a quick word here with our 3rd place finisher, Xander Levi. Hey, Xander, it's Robert up in the booth. You get a copy?
Yeah.
You came home in position number 3 here today. Did you have anything at all you could have maybe done differently to get up there and battle it out with Mertes and Rondoletto at the end of this one?
I probably could have actually tried to defend the O2 car from getting by because I saw that he pitted and had fresh tires. So I let him go, hoping that he would catch the leader, but he never did. So
now, looking ahead on the schedule, next race up here for the Pavement Series is the Jack-O-Lantern 200 at Auto Club coming up in just about a month. How do you feel about the Auto Club Speedway? Do you think maybe that's a race that you can get up there and win?
I like Auto Club. I have no clue how it handles in the next gen, so I'll run some practice laps and see how good it is.
Well, let's go ahead and ask you, any sponsors, supporters, people that get you out there each and every week?
No, I really just do this for fun.
Well, that's what it's all about. That's your third place finisher, Xander Levi. Thanks for joining us here tonight.
Thank you.
We'll go ahead and have a quick word here with Zach Mertes. Zach, you came home in the second spot. You tried a pit strategy call on that final caution. Walk us through the decision making for that one, and what did you need to do differently to beat that 48 car?
Well, just not step on my nuts, I guess. Oh my goodness. From a basic standpoint, the way I saw it was I thought Rondoletto was going to be short on fuel as well because I was 6 laps short, and I figured, you know what? Why don't I try a fresh set of tires, see if that helps? I sent it 3 wide on the restart, worked my way back up, got into a couple of hairy moments, but still held on to it. And it's somewhat of an interesting situation because I figured that with the offset of the tires, I would be in a better standpoint. And then should we get a late race caution, I still have the track position. I'm really at no loss, but somehow Octavio kept me locked down. He did a great job. I always have a challenging time racing Octavio, and it's not to say the fact of it's somehow, some way, shape, or form a problem. He always gives me a challenge. I love racing Octavio. I love being able to test what I know against what he knows. There were times when it seemed like I was better in 3 and 4 than he was in 1 and 2. There was some times where he was tapping the wall and I was trying to capitalize on that. There were some great moments that we had with trying to fight for the lead, especially on the start. But the second he pretty much took the lead away from me, he had it locked down the rest of the time. There was not much that I could do. I tried my hardest, though. I did exactly what I knew I could do and just tried to drive the wheels off it. Maybe I needed to be a little bit more reserved.
Well, you definitely tried your best here tonight. It was going to be tough to beat that 48 car nonetheless, as he led all but 1 lap. You were credited with the other lap led here tonight. We had a lot of cautions in the early part of this one. What's the hardest part of finding a rhythm when you continuously find that yellow flag and have to restart every couple of laps?
Really, the rhythm kind of just comes to you. I think with the cautions playing out the way they did, it allowed me to learn a lot more. And I think it was very noticeable on the restarts that I was able to hang with Octavio just a little bit more each and every restart. I think in the last 2 or so, I somewhat let go a little bit, didn't exactly keep up the way I could have. But, you know, it was still a great run. He got me on a lot of the restarts, and I was restarting in second gear. He was restarting in first gear. I was able to listen to what he was doing and kind of go off of that myself. And then I changed it up, got a little bit better. Then he changed it up, got a little bit better. It's always a guessing game. You know, you are always trying to go off of what the other driver is doing, trying to adapt that, put it into what you're doing, and seeing if you could potentially give yourself a little bit of a heads up. Maybe just try to give yourself a little bit more information on what's going on and what the other driver is doing, and if you can piggyback off of that. And, you know, I even take that into my real racing with my legend car and, you know, working myself up the NASCAR ladder at the moment. It's easy to just go out there, see what these other guys are doing, and kind of work that into what you're doing and try to find a little bit more speed. Just extract whatever you can out of the race car and extract what you can out of your skill and find your groove to be able to get yourself forward.
And that's a great lesson that I don't think enough people really realize when it comes to these races. But Zach, before we let you go here today, any sponsors you want to thank, shout outs you want to give?
Yeah, no, I mean, I pretty much ran tonight's race a little unsponsored. I just kind of slapped on some base logos on the iRacing.com sim, but I can't thank my current partners enough: Burning Rubber Radio, Adventures Racing, Pit Stop TV, Whiplash SimCam, CC's Business, Butler Built Seats, everyone that keeps me in the race car. I know we're out of the race car right now. I'm wheeling around on the iRacing sim with a broken back at the moment after a wreck at Charlotte Motor Speedway in my legend car, and it's nice to be able to at least still show that I'm competitive on the iRacing.com sim, even with a broken back. But we're working towards getting back in the race car. If you want to help us get back out there, get back out on the racetrack, we've got some potential moves going forward. Hopefully trying to do some late model stuff. There is some ARCA stuff that might be able to come into my direction. I don't want to speak on anything too soon, but there's always something that we're working towards. There's always something in the mix. And if you want to support me, you want to follow me along at Zach Murtis on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Snapchat, LinkedIn, even all over the place. Anywhere you can find me. You can always send me a message. You can join my Discord server. It's over on my YouTube channel. If you want to join, check out all the cool stuff that we've got going on with my racing, everybody else's racing, checking out the Murtis Esport guys and keeping up with them and helping keep my esports team moving in a positive direction as well. I've been a little lacking in that department, but we're trying to pick things back up a little bit more, trying to get back into a good rhythm. We've got a couple of development drivers that are doing really good in some other development leagues as well. And if you want to follow along with my racing, you want to help me out, you can always send me an email at murtisracing102@gmail.com. That's MERTESRACING102@gmail.com. We've got a great return on investment for any partners that want to come on. We are building on 30,000 subscribers on YouTube, 20,000 followers on TikTok. There's always a great opportunity to build your brand and get yourself out there with me, myself, and the Murtis Racing brand.
And there you have it, your second place finisher here tonight, Zachary Murtis. Congratulations, and we look forward to seeing you at Auto Club in a few weeks.
Absolutely, looking forward to seeing you.
That's Zach Murtis, your second place finisher. Let's go ahead and talk to the guy that absolutely dominated this one here tonight, Octavio Rondoletto. Walk us through that race, and what is it about this Iowa Speedway that just fits you so well?
Good evening, Robert. Man, I'm happy to be here. It's a pleasure to win another race here in the Reigel Promotions payment series. I had a great run. I really enjoyed it. I have to admit that Zach was really fast in the very first laps of every stint, and I had to push everything, especially in the start of the race. I didn't expect so many aggression. I mean, the race is long, but he attacked me very fast, and that was pretty fun. I had to push all the race to be covered in the strategy things, and yeah, I like Iowa. This is my first time running the ARCA car here in Iowa, but I always enjoy this car on this track.
It definitely looked like you enjoyed it a lot tonight, and I was just talking with Zachary, and he said that he would have been short about 6 laps on fuel. How close were you at the end to not making it on gas?
I had 4 laps in the tank in the end of the race. I think I was saving a lot in the cautions, saving enough, using many clutch, and I was clutching a little bit in the entry in the one of the restarts, and I think that was the key to finish with all the fuel that I needed. And when you lose speed in the end of the stint, um, you use less fuel, and I was taking that in mind when I saw the calculator in the iRacing series. I saw that I was maybe 2 laps short, and I thought, well, in the end of the race, I will be slower, so I should be better with the fuel.
Well, next race up in the series, we take the Next Gen Cup car and go to the Auto Club Speedway. Do you have much experience with that combination? And if so, how do you feel heading into that one?
I think the last time I ran there with the next chain was 2 years ago with the Italian NASCAR Championship. But well, it was an open setup race. Maybe we have to try some. I don't know if we will have a custom fixed setup, but that will be interesting. A really fast track, a car that requires too much rhythm and pace. That will be really fun because Autoclave is a big track, many draft and that kind of things.
Well, before we let you go here tonight, any sponsors you want to thank or shout outs you want to give?
Sure. Well, thank you, Byte 500 and Flaming Karma Racing, my both teams. Well, to you guys for the organization, the guys that were in the track. Well, congratulations to Zach for the race and Xander for the podium. And thank you all the guys because they were really clean and careful when they lost laps or when we were fighting. So thanks to everybody, and I have a gift for you all tomorrow. I will take some photos and I will share you.
There we go. Congratulations on the win here tonight, Octavio, and we'll see you in a few weeks at Auto Club.
Yeah, there, Robert. Thank you.
That is your race winner here tonight, Octavio Rondeletto. And again, congratulations to the entire podium here tonight. Octavio Rondeletto, Zachary Mertes, and Xander Levi. We'll leave you with the finishing results here tonight up on the screen. Rondeletto, Mertes, Levi, your top three, and the rest of the field following suit. But on behalf of all of us here at Regal Promotions Esports, my name's Robert Hill Jr. Thanks for joining us here tonight, and we will see you once again on Monday, September the 15th with the Sovereign Showdown. This is the 360 Sprint Cars live from the Eldora Speedway, kicking off King's Clash Week. That is the 15th and 17th right here on Regal Promotions Esports. Take care and have a good night, everybody. We'll see you next time.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.